Hi chess friends, today we are going to witness how Magnus beats MBL. Magnus plays with white, MBL is black. Magnus starts with knight to f3, MBL plays d5, c4, king's Indian attack, Reti opening, e6, g3, knight to f6, bishop to g2, bishop to e7, castle on the king side. Game transposed to English, Neo-Catalan, declined. Castle on the king side. b3, d4. Now it's hard for white to develop its knight as c3 square is controlled by the pawn. And there is no scope for bishop after it comes to b2 square as the a1 h8 diagonal is blocked by d4 pawn. So Magnus played e3 to eliminate the d4 pawn. Knight to c6. Slightly better is c4 followed by knight to c6, which can provide more support to the d4 pawn. E pawn takes d4 pawn. Knight takes d4 pawn. Now the knight is in the center, but it's vulnerable. Bishop to b2 puts more pressure on the knight. Bishop to c5 protects the knight. Knight to c3 develops the knight. Rook e8, knight to e5, bishop to d6 attacks the knight. f4 protects the knight. Bishop to c5 threatening discovery check by knight takes b3 pawn followed by knight takes rook on a1. King to h1 prevents the discovery check. Knight to a4 is slightly better. Queen to e7, g4. Magnus' idea is to remove the knight on f6 by playing g5. After knight moves, black loses the control of the h5 square and white's queen can occupy it. Rook to d8, g5, knight to d7, knight to e4, moving more pieces towards the king side. Knight to f8, mistake by MVL. Best move is knight takes knight on e5. Let's see the continuation. F pawn takes knight on e5, knight to f5, knight takes bishop on c5, queen takes knight on c5. White's attack is nullified and the game is equal. Back to the position. Game continued as knight to f8, queen to h5, queen has a nice square. Knight to g6 was played. Best move is knight to f5. Let's see the continuation. Knight takes bishop on c5, rook takes d2 pawn, knight c2 d3. Black can give up bishop for king safety. White has 3 tempi advantage. Back to the position. Knight to g6. Knight blocks the f7 pawn from the queen, but the h7 pawn becomes weak. Now white has 5 tempi advantage. Game continued as knight to g4, bishop to a3. Slightly better is knight to f5. Pause the video and find the brilliant move played by Magnus. Compliments on finding the move. The move is knight g2 f6 check, which destroys the pawn structure of black. G pawn takes knight on f6. G pawn takes f6. This position is completely lost for black. There is no good move to save the game. Queen to b4 was played. Alternate move is queen to d7. Let's see the continuation. Bishop takes bishop on a3, knight to f5, bishop to h3, queen to c6, rook a to e1. Knight will be lost by bishop takes knight, followed by queen to h6, then queen to g7 checkmate. To avoid checkmate, black has to give more material. Back to the position. Queen to b4. Game continued as knight to g5. Threatening queen takes h7 pawn check. Followed by queen takes f7 pawn checkmate. King to f8. Queen takes h7 pawn. Rook to d7. Protects the f7 pawn. Bishop takes knight on d4. Rook is overloaded. It needs to protect the important f7 pawn. Otherwise game is lost. So rook takes bishop is not possible and MVL resigned. Game may have continued as king to e8, bishop to c3, queen to f8, f5, e pawn takes f5 pawn, rook a e1 check, king to d8, bishop to d5, knight to h8, b4. If bishop takes b4 pawn, bishop takes bishop on b4. Queen is overloaded. Queen need to support the knight, which is more important. If queen takes bishop on b4, then queen takes rook on h8, checkmate in one move. So c5 by black. Queen to g7, queen to d6, which loses one more knight and the game. Back to the position. So black has to play c6. Bishop takes f7 pawn, threatening rook to e8, which will fork the king and queen. Then queen and knight on h8 will be lost. So rook takes bishop on f7 is forced. Queen takes rook on h8. Queen takes queen on h8. Knight takes rook on f7 with check. King to c7. Knight takes queen on h8. White has an extra rook and the passed pawn on f6 cannot be stopped without sacrificing a piece. So black resign on move 23. If you like the video, share, subscribe and like. Thank you. Post your suggested games in the comment section.